This video is sponsored by Wanderlust.
Hey there, my name is Sally Harrington and welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm really excited because the team over at Polar Pro was nice enough to send over a few of their brand new filters that just dropped today so I can show you guys what they're all about. Now, Polar Pro sent over their Basecamp matte box system for me to test out last year, and I made a whole video about it, so if you wanna go check that out, I'm gonna leave a link right up here so you can go see that video. So basically the conclusion for my video, if you don't wanna watch the whole thing, is that this is a really awesome product. I really like it. However, I don't have a huge need for it just because I use primarily cinema cameras that have built-in ND filters. However, if you use a camera that doesn't have built-in ND filters, such as the GH5, the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema camera, the A7S III, a lot of these new cameras that have a lot of the cinema features, except for the ND filters, then I think that this is a really solid option, and I actually probably would prefer this over screw-on variable ND filters. However, it was lacking in a few different areas, and one of which was there was no mist option. Last year in 2020, Polar Pro came out with a bunch of really great Pro Mist filters for their variable ND screw-on line, specifically the Peter McKinnon line was the one that comes to mind for me. And I've always been interested in trying out these mist filters, but I didn't really have any way of doing it because they didn't have that for the matte box system until now. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna show you some of these new filter options that they sent over to me so you can kind of see which ones I was able to mess around with, show you some test footage, and share why I think that this is a really great option, especially if you already own the Basecamp matte box system. But if you don't, why I think that this makes the whole system that much more valuable. Okay, so what all was announced today? Well, previously with the kit, you had a circular polarizer that came with the kit that allowed the variable NDs to work, and then you had a 2 to 5 stop ND and a 6 to 9 stop ND, and those were really your only options for the Basecamp system. What they come out with today is they come out with some mist options. So they not only have a regular mist, then they also have a heavy mist. And I reached out to the guys at Polar Pro, asked them if there was any sort of a numerical differentiation between these two, like you see in some other brands. And they said no, basically one is just less mist and one is more mist, so it's a little bit more severe. You're able to see it more clearly. So if you're unfamiliar with what a mist filter does, essentially it's softening your image in an intentional way. It's designed not to lose contrast, but to bring down some of the harshness. So you'll see a softer, more angelic roll off when it comes to highlights and skin tones and things like that, as well as creating a little bit of bloom around any sort of lights or anything like that in your frame.
All right, so we're gonna hear some side-by-side comparisons so you can kind of see the difference. If you look at the no filter on the left, you can see that there's no real bloom around the light. And on the strong mist, you can see a little bit more haze. Same thing here, so with the soft mist on the right, you can see it's around the light itself. It's not as severe or as strong as the strong mist. So you can see the side-by-side that they both have more bloom around them, just the strong mist has more, it's more pronounced, and you can see it kind of outside the edge of the matte box itself. Here is a side-by-side, so you can kind of see the difference in some skin tones, and then I have the light held up just so you can see a little bit of the bloom differences. Here, look at the skin tones. Again, it just kind of rolls off nicely. It makes the, that transition a little bit more smooth. And then here you go, no filter versus the strong mist. Again, you're looking at the skin tones mostly here, and you can just see that it's just a little bit softer, a little bit more dreamlike, angelic, whatever you want to call it, on the ones with the mist. A little closer up so you can see. Again, I try to get the exposure to match as closely as possible. It's kind of hard, but yeah, you can just see that my on the right side especially is just a little bit softer of a gradient. And then lastly, the soft mist compared to the no filter. Again, subtle differences, but I think it does look, I do prefer the one on the right, honestly. I think that it's a good look. I would use this on a regular basis.
Well, so basically what they have come out with today is they have a normal mist and a heavy mist for all the different options. So you can just get the mist if you want with no ND. They also have a 2 to 5 stop light regular mist and heavy mist, as well as a 6 to 9 stop variable ND in both the regular mist and the heavy mist. In addition to these mist filters, they've also come out with some graduated filters. So the one I have here is an ND8 graduated filter. So basically, as you can see, what it does is it starts with there's a filter on the top that starts dark and then it gets slowly lighter as it goes down. Now they did offer this previously for their photography for specific kits, but it was never really able to be used for video until now. So what they've actually also come up with is this guy right here. Now they're calling this the third stage adapter. Essentially what this does is it clips onto the front of your existing Basecamp unit and it allows you to actually stack filters. So this is really really nice because it allows you to start having some combinations of all these different filter options. So you can do the graduated filter as well as a ND, or a variable ND. So let's say you already have the 2 to 5 ND like I have, but you wanted to have the mist. So instead of buying the 2 to 5 Pro mist, if you buy this and then you just buy the mist filters that don't have the ND, now you can stack them so you can do the 2 to 5 variable ND with whatever mist it is that you want, the regular or the heavy mist. Now you have both of them in here at the same time and you're able to start having whatever combination of things it is that you would want. And then lastly, they're offering these anamorphic filters that go into the kit itself. So this one they sent me is the blue morphic. They also have a gold morphic. And essentially what it's doing is it's mimicking the look of the anamorphic lens flares that you'll get, which normally you have to have an expensive lens to do, or a camera that can de-squeeze anamorphic footage, things like that. This is going to give you a similar type of look without having to actually shoot in anamorphic, which is kind of cool. It's as you rotate the dial that you would normally rotate for the variable ND, this actually rotates the orientation of these streaks. So you can have vertical streaks or horizontal streaks, kind of whatever you want. I don't know specifically when this would be something that I would want to use, but I feel like if that's the type of look that you want, or you just really like those anamorphic light streaks, then this is a really cool way of getting it without having to actually buy my anamorphic lens. We've been outsourcing our wedding editing to Wanderlust for years, and it has by far been the best business decision we've ever made. For years, I fought the idea of outsourcing because every company I had found up until that point had either been too expensive to be realistic, or they just didn't meet the quality expectations that I had for my films. Until we found Wanderlust. Wanderlust was able to edit all of our wedding films at a price that made sense for our price point and at a quality that I was super, super happy with. And the process is super simple. You just choose the type of film you need edited, answer some specific questions about your project, and send over the footage. Everything is managed from a streamlined portal where you can chat with the Wanderlust team with any specific questions you might have, manage your revisions, and so on. Their turnaround times are quick and they have never missed a deadline. If you feel like your editing backlog is holding you back from living your life or growing your business, you need to give Wanderlust a try. Thank you again to Wanderlust for sponsoring today's video. If you want to save $50 on your first edit with Wanderlust, simply click on the link in the description below and you can try them out to see what it's all about. All right, so now really quickly, I'm gonna show you just a really quick demonstration of how this works in case you missed my last video. So we're gonna start with just the lens. I don't have any more cameras because they're all being used at the moment. But basically, like I said, you start with your lens and you take the metal filter and you just screw it right on here. There you go, you screw that right on the front of your lens. Now I do have a filter on here already and you can actually screw it right to your filter, so that's not a problem. So now I have this attached on here. Next, we're gonna take the regular Basecamp plate and we're actually going to take off the hood on the front so we can use our new adapter here. So we're gonna take off this French hood. We just have this ring here. So then this just slides right on top of the metal on the lens here. We're gonna screw it down. And now this is attached. Now this is the third stage adapter that is brand new today. So this, as you can see here, just clips onto the front. It does have some screws and things like that. Let's see if I can do it with one hand. There we go. Tighten it down. Okay. So now we have this third stage adapter attached, and as you can see, we have slots up here for two different filters. So let's say we wanted to use the graduated filter first. We can slide this one in here. And then as you can see, it actually sticks out the bottom just a little bit here. So you have some flexibility in terms of where you want your graduated filter to start in your frame. So you can kind of put it exactly where you want it, and then you can lock it down. There's two separate knobs on the side here. So you can lock down the filters individually. And then let's say we want the 2 to 5 mist filter. We drop that right here in behind. And now, as you can see here, we have two different filters on top of our lens. And this is still super light, still not very heavy whatsoever. And we are ready to rock and roll. All right, there you guys have it. That's all the new products that were released today from Polar Pro. I think, again, this is a really awesome kit. I love all the versatility now that they have, that you can kind of pick and choose and make a kit that makes the most sense for you, especially with the ability now to stack filters. That's a really cool thing that you really had to have a hard time doing with screw-on filters. So I think this is a really great option for specific filmmakers out there. Again, this is small enough and light enough. You could totally travel with this. You could bring this in a backpack. It's not gonna slow you down or anything like that. It really just kind of depends on your wants and needs, and really honestly how much you switch lenses. If you want to check this out, you want to buy the kit for yourself, there's a link in the description down below where you can go check it out and go ahead and buy it. Thank you so much to the guys over at Polar Pro for sending this over. If you guys have any other questions, anything else you'd like to see regarding this kit, please let me know in the comments down below. If not, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next week.